Hello friends, we were discussing in the earlier topic about condition of the peasants. Peasants means farm laborers and the agriculture in India during British rule. See, we discussed about the British policy, right? Here some small questions have come that in which act Wellesley Cornwallis had taken specific decisions to implement law to collect the revenue. It was Permanent Settlement Act. According to that, earlier Cornwallis and later Wellesley continued to take the tax from the people. So remember one thing. Here we have already discussed in the last lecture about that zamindars were given power, right? Zamindars were given power to take immediate tax collection, decisions about tax collection, and hand over the tax to the government on getting specific revenue on the annual basis from company. So zamindars or the landlords were getting fixed revenue for collecting tax, and company was getting revenue, company was getting money. So in that way, here both were getting benefit. But on the side of the farmers, what was that? Farmers became completely exploited. So now here you can have one question. What is the meaning of land revenue? In India, different type of the taxes are on the shoulders of people to pay to the government. So in the village, if any person is a farmer, he has not to pay any income tax, but he has to pay specific tax by the name of land revenue to the government. In that way, the land revenue is mainly affected on the life of people by getting money from farmers. Because see how it is affected. Remember one thing, when an amount is affected by collecting from the people, it is directly affecting to the pocket of the people. Remember, because neither any person's money is coming from the tree, right? I think what I mean to say you have understood. So when the people are shedding their sweat and doing their work in the farm, they are getting some money. Out of that, they have to pay regularly for the permission to do farming. Such amount is being regularly paid yearly basis. It is called land revenue, right? So in India, there are different type of the taxes: income tax, goods and service tax. Now we have, thereafter when our product is going outside, is coming from the other country, it is called import and export. For that we are paying import duty and export duty. We are using petrol, CNG, diesel. On it we need to pay some tax. It is called excise. So in that way, in India, the government is working on basis of getting collection of the tax. So the main income of the government is tax collection. In those days about which we are discussing here, It is about the Britishers period. So what could be the Britishers income from India? Naturally, tax collection is the income. So they were giving more importance to the tax collection. That one I want to say. And here in your book, it is being given in the box that think, what do you mean by the land revenue? That I explained. That a farmer is using the land to do the farming, and for that he is yearly paying specific amount to the administration. That amount is called land revenue. And here the one more question is added here. Make a list of the taxes paid by us. That I explained. GST, income tax, right? Excise duty, custom duty, import duty, everything I explained here just before you, right? So now remember one thing, that the main income of the government even today or in the earlier in the British period, what is the main income? Simple word, tax is the main income of the government, right my friends? Now here one another question is given. If famine occurs in modern time, the people suffer less or more? If you think by present modern technology, we can say people suffer less. Why did they suffer more during British rule? I simply replied you before the question that via modern technology, in those days we had not enough good technology to get such benefit what we can get today. And other side, government had not concentrated to provide food and other support to the people. Instead of that, government had tried only to collect the money from people. Means they had exploited the people. That I want to say. So naturally, in those days, the effect of the famine was much more than today. Right, my friends? Okay, now I want to discuss some other topic with you. That effect of social life in India. But effect of what? Effect of the British rule in social life of India. Right? Okay. See, in time of Warren Hastings, see these Cornwallis, Warren Hastings, Wellesley, Dalhousie, Sir John Shore, whatever the name you speak, they were governor generals. So they were having power to take the decision, right? And they had appointed different people on different posts. So to collect the revenue of the tax, they had appointed a person. That person's post was collector. And even today, collector is the most important and powerful person in any district in all over India. He also performed the function of judge. Means a collector who collect the revenue or the tax will become a judge. Even today in the district also, judge post in the district, judge post of the judge in the district is known as district magistrate, is equal to a judge. Remember. So even today they have the same importance. Another thing, the British system had established this post. Remember. So in today 2020 and whatever the year in future, up to the day may not any change come, the post of the collector will remain as. So it is being established by the governor generals. Remember this. Okay. I was discussing that Warren Hastings had established this post of the collector, and he was an important person. So earlier our village system was completely self-dependent, Nobody was dependent on anyone. Self-rule was there. But today, we can't find the self-rule. Remember this thing. One thing more. Every village was like a small republic. I said that they were self-dependent, self-reliant, independent in the term of the administration. But today we can't see that. Remember. So, Gram Panchayats, the administration of the village is called Gram Panchayat. Gram Panchayat were handling administration of entire village. Today they are doing the same thing, right? But importance of the Gram Panchayat have been changed right now. Remember, Panchayats were like a backbone of self-rule in our country. But today, okay, in the term of the administration, the importance of Gram Panchayat is the same as like those days. But in reality, it is somehow different. Remember this thing. There are institutions like Gram Panchayat, Jilla Panchayat, Taluka Panchayat is today are known as local self-government. People are deciding the leaders who are working in the Jilla, Taluka and the village. So, it is actually a foundation of the democracy that the people decide their leaders. But in those days, actually, up to the Britishers, even in the Muslim invasions, our backbone of the village was remain powerful. But now, after the British administration, the policy became very weak and it made our administration weaken. Remember. So here, remember that the situation of the village administration became more weak in time of British rule due to the policy decisions taken by Britishers regarding our administration. Is that clear, my friends? So here I discussed about the situation of the village in India in time of Britishers. Now I am discussing about some effect of the social effect of decision of Britishers on the social life of India. See, the social reforms made by the Britishers actually were hurting and creating feeling of insecurity in mind of orthodox people because they were having mindset that Britishers want to change our identity and culture. So they were suspicious, doubtful about the honest efforts of Britishers to make our social structure better. I said clearly they were suspicious and doubtful. Now remember one thing. They felt that government was trying to convert them into Christianity. It means, remember the meaning of word. People were thinking that Britishers are going to convert us in the Christianity and want to destroy our Indian culture and religious traditions. They were having such doubt. Due to that, they were not by heart supporting Britishers' efforts to bring change in the social structure of India. So, here remember that people's understanding was that the Britishers want to deliberately, intentionally disturb our social system. And due to that, they had made change in railways and military system. This was also thought of the people in those days that Britishers want to hurt our tradition and customs and our religion, because everyone have to sit in the same bogie or wagons, coach in railway, right? We never ask our co-traveler in the railway from which caste and which religion he is coming. We sit together without any objection. But in today, in 21st century, but in those days, we can't speak so. Remember. Okay, one thing more. An order was passed in Agra. See, this is a very ridiculous thing. I am speaking about order which I am going to speak. The order was every Indian had to salute. Listen carefully every word. Every Indian had to salute to the British person if he see to him when he is passing through the road. I use the word ridiculous thing. Even the Indian is more higher authority. If Indian is more capable person, but he has to support, he has to salute to the Britisher. It is unexpectable. Nobody expects this thing, but they decide the law. So it was expected, but here one more unexpected word is if it was not done. See, if it was not done, it was considered to a crime. Means the Britisher, the person with the white skin tone, is more important than the identity, quality, qualification, and the post and power of a person. So every Britisher is more important. It was the intention of the British government to create in the mind of the Indian people. So in that way, if he not salute to any Britisher, he will be punished. So it created a bad impact over the mindset of the people. Understand this thing. Widespread sentiment of anger emerged, and the hatredness towards the Britishers emerged in Indians. Right, my friends? So simply you understand that Orthodox and the traditional Indians did not accepted the social changes what the Britishers had brought in Indian lifestyle, administration and the system, right? So it impacted deeply to the Indian British administration. Okay, so here I discussed about social effect on India. Now the another point I am going to discuss, it is an economic topic. Destruction of Indian trade and industries due to British policy, right? So remember one thing, earlier India was a country to provide commodities what the Europeans were expecting to get from here. But in the time of Britishers, as we have said earlier, that India became just a supplier of the raw material, nothing else, and only to the Britishers, nobody else. Earlier, which Europeans were coming here to purchase the commodities, now they started to come here to rule over India. Who were in demand of Indian jute, Indian silk, Indian woolen clothes, Indian cotton textile. Now they were getting raw materials from here, they were taking it to their British factories and converting and doing the process on it and making it as a British goods. and bring it back to the India with getting lots of the money. So earlier, which country was getting lots of the gold and silver from the world? I am talking about India. That country started to become ruled by the Britisher, and it made our life miserable. Miserable means very bad and adverse. So, due to the industrial revolution, the changes in the machineries came in the Europe, and Britishers who were getting product from here now started to fetch money. How much? 500 crore rupees during their rule from only Bengal. So now you understand what could be the future of India if the 500 crore rupees just from the one province they had fetched from us. Fetched means encroach, take from people without power. So in that way they accumulated means collected lots of the wealth from us and taken it to the British regions. Now here remember one thing, that this situation had made our condition worst and bad. With the help of raw material production in India and money collected from India. See, here they were getting two benefits. Raw materials collected from India and money collected from India. The British industries and businesses became more prosperous just by exploiting India. I clearly saying this line. So their mills started to progress, but our industries started to be destroyed. The cloth manufacture in England became more better and started to import to India without any burden of tax or duty on goods coming from England to India. At that time, they had followed bias policy. Means, if the products are coming from British to India, no taxes was levied. Levied means burden. But on the contrary, the Indian product in India was sold with 80% taxes on cloth manufactured in India. So now you understand. When a product coming from Britain is cheap without tax price, and our product with 80% tax, now you try to calculate, if the product is of 100 rupees, 80% is the tax levied, means 100 rupees plus 80 rupees as a tax. So the product of 100 rupees will become product of 180 rupees. So it will be costly, more and more costly, which cannot be expected by anyone. You can also understand. So it made our textile industries costlier even in Indian market than British product in Indian market. So it ruined our handloom, handicraft and cottage industry. Remember, so our industries were unable to compete British decisions, British textile industries, British manufacturers, our industries were unable to sustain to fight against them. So in those days, lots of the other production started in Britain, which was started to brought to India. Skill-based industries like textile, glass, paper, minerals refining, shipbuilding got ruined. Naturally, any customer will not pay just by the name of India if it is costly in compared to other product. So in that situation, they got more benefit and our industries were destroyed. Due to the policy of the Britishers, our industry destroyed. Lakhs of the skilled worker became unemployed. So what do you think so? Any person, if the industry is closed, can continue to be job? No. He will be removed from the factory because there is no employment, there is no work was possible. So gradually, slowly, workers from rural area became more poor because they had no support of any Indian king or any Indian population. Very sad thing it is. So in present days, think about what cottage industry can be seen at village level. See, at the home, if any production is done, it is called cottage industry. So we can see small leather work, knitting work, embroidery work we can see at the home, and people are earning today. In those days also, such kind of the handicraft work was also done. But when the product started to come from British rule with less cost, people started to purchase from the Britishers. It affected our production in a large proportion. Remember this thing. So today, dairy industry, some other raw material based industries are also available. So many kind of the small products are done today. All things are called cottage industry. Remember this. So here I discussed today with you about economic impact also. In which way the economic impact was destruction of trade and industries in India by British policy in British rule, my friends. Okay, here I discussed today with you. Okay friends.